Hello, welcome to the Illuminating Crossroads community. Today we're going to just do our weekly intuitive guidance reading. So this is going to be for the week of September 11th to September 17th. So the way that this works is we'll just notate key astrological events for the week, and then we're going to do a beginning look at the week, a middle, and an end. So if you'd like, you could grab a notebook, take some notes, or if you want to grab some tea or whatever, some water, whatever it is, we'll just dive in. So for this week, for the astrological events that are taking place, there's two key ones, if you will. I think, you kind of have to pick what calls to one that as most predominant. So we would be looking at the new moon that's taking place within a Virgo, and that, depending on where you're located, is going to be September 14th or 15th. And then the next event would be when Mercury is going to station direct, as it has been in retrograde. So that will be taking place, depending on your time zone again, on September 15th or 16th. So definitely a nice little happening in the middle of the week. So let's go ahead and dive into the beginning of the week and see how these astrological events will tie in. So the cards that we got just for the energy for the beginning of the week is the King of Acorns, so optimism and innovation. And then we got Sagittarius, optimism, again, exploration and freedom. And then we got trust your innocence. So for these cards coming out for the beginning of the week, it's very nice as seeing how this horse and the bow and arrow on the Sagittarius card, it's very what is it that hopefully we have clarity on, that we do kind of want to go towards, and being able to see what does it feel like to just trust in this innocent nature of what we're enjoying, and to just know that if something is sparking our interest or illuminating, because we have this little sun, it looks like behind the horse, if something is illuminating our minds or our body or our sense of expression, how can we dive into being able to take forward motion with trusting these organic feelings that are coming up, that are making us feel a little bit more lively, feeling a little bit more free, and also exploring what does freedom look like to us? What does it feel like to be truly optimistic of what is possible within our life? And also really reflecting on that as well, because since this Sagittarius card came up, the planetary ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and Jupiter is retrograde right now. So we are having this lens of looking back in the place that Jupiter's at, which is a Taurus, and we also have Uranus there right now too. So we have a lot of changes or just reflecting and refining that's happening within the house that Taurus rules for us. So you'll have to see where Taurus is in your chart, but it is definitely really supportive to know, especially since Taurus is much more looking for sustainability, or a little bit more long termness of being able to cultivate the beautiful garden of whatever it is that you're creating within your life, or the beautiful piece of art, if you will. And also just thinking as Uranus as this sense of radical change or expression, or this just lightning bolt of energy, since it is in this retrograde phase. What is it now that hopefully there's little sparks? So just thinking of the fire elemental, if we will, since Sag is a fire sign. It would when, if you were to start a fire in the olden days and rubbing the stone together and getting the sparks or getting the embers going, what are these little sparks right now that are happening, and how can you trust and lean into what those are. So for that part of the beginning of the week, if there is something that you want to kind of like formalize or like re-strategize or just like really lean into seeing what can your imagination help you build up to know what it is that you are wanting to create or even work on for this week ahead. In the middle of the week, we have the Two of Feathers, so it says decisions and directions, which I think this one might have came out last week, so very nice that we're hopefully continuing to get clarity on this sense of direction for ourselves. And then we have House 7, profound relationships, intimacy, and romantic partners. And then we have the card of healing that came out for the middle of the week. So for the middle of the week, this would be, I just wrote the 13th, 14th for dates, but of course, whatever you consider to be the middle of the week again. We will have the new moon in Virgo that is taking place. I am planning to do a separate video on that, so I don't want to go too much into it here, but just notating where Virgo is at within your house, and also since we've been having Mercury retrograde within this house of Virgo, there has been a lot of like looking at what are the little details within our life or the parts that just haven't been like, there's been little puzzle pieces missing, and hopefully we've been kind of seeing like, oh, I see here why like maybe this didn't work out or why I've been feeling this way, and I see that okay, maybe I need to shift and change my like perception or how I'm approaching this situation in order to feel like there is one healing taking place. So you can shift into a place of more operating from love, if you will, and maybe not in fear, and also to just allow for more openness to see, like, since we had Venus doing her beautiful work within our relational area of life in Leo, maybe we see now what relationships we want to keep in our life and what ones we don't, and just seeing like now that we're getting down to the nitty-gritty details and hopefully finding a little bit more organization and thinking about our health and what does our perfect day look like or what have you, who in our life is a reflection of the way that we want to live, and also who is being supportive, and knowing like what is it and who is it that you want to have in your more intimate life, and who do you want to be like in partnership with, even if you think of like business stuff. So if you are a business owner or anything like that, just thinking like what does it look like to actually have fully fleshed details out to understand what the partnership is that you're coming into and what seeds you're planting as well, since we'll have that new moon. So we're starting a new cycle with Virgo in the area that Virgo rules in our chart. So that will be the middle of the week. And then for the end of the week, we have the Two of Shells, so union and harmony. And then we have Taurus, so trust, patience, and sensuality. And then we got the root chakra, so ground and center. So beautiful. So I would definitely say that, and especially so just thinking, these two cards did come out in reverse, but I think I just showed them upright so you could see them. But with the House 7 coming up and the Two of Feathers and decisions, and also we have a lot of twos, so twos might be a thing. And just thinking of like, what is balance? What is your own sense of equilibrium or harmony within your life, within your relationships with others and with self? So just notating that if you are having any, I guess, any disharmony within partnerships or within yourself, seeing how can you ground a bit more towards the end of the week and honor how sometimes, it is a process as everything is. So how can there be a little bit more patience and also understanding and being able to listen to not only what yourself, so be it your body is trying to tell you or your emotions, but also listening to what others are trying to speak to you, and really being open and receptive so there can be clear communication, and also just clearer flow of emotions, and knowing, like, since the middle of the week, if there is some things that you're working on, uh, healing and releasing, if you will, or even notating like what in the house of Virgo, what it rules in your chart, what have been things in that area that you've been letting go of, and now seeing how do you want to shine your light, communicate better? How do you want to show up in community? How do you want to be in service to others? And how do you want to approach like a healthy lifestyle, if you will? So, yes, and also just want to notate because I wrote down, so Jupiter is in a square to Venus. Pretty sure it's the whole week. So just notating that, since like it's kind of funny, Jupiter and Venus switch spots, if you will, as far as Venus was retrograde, went direct, then Jupiter went retrograde. So there might be some tension, if you will, or friction in regards to our relationships, and if they've been allowing us to feel like we have been growing and expanding, and if not, then we're really like thinking, like what I don't know how else to say it, but like what is this agreement, or what is this like lesson, or what is it at the core essence of this relationship that I'm having with this other person, be it romantic, platonic, whatever. Um yeah, so indeed, but definitely if you feel like you're getting frustrated or getting impatient or irritable, really leaning into grounding, and also just making sure that you're really creating this environment for yourself where you feel safe, where you feel nurtured and comforted as well. And then just for overall energy for the week, um, we have the Five of Feathers. So it says strategy and resilience. And then we have fire, confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery, which I think this one came out last week. And then we got the violet flame. So for the overall energy, just notating, especially just thinking of the like sparks and embers at the beginning of the week, and our this essence of fire and how it can be cleansing, but notating what intention, intention. So, and even with this new moon and Mercury station in direct, now there's hopefully a lot more intention of direction and what it is one is wanting to do. So tapping into, look, this has optimism. So optimism is like out here 3 times. So really seeing how can you be optimistic about the potential of what is to come. And if things have been a bit tough, knowing that, like, the pendulum always swings to the other side. So just being patient and trusting and putting in the work in order to be able to have these things that you're passionate about or desiring come to be, of course, if it's for your highest and greatest good. And then for the Five of Feathers for strategy and resilience, I definitely think in regards to like partnerships or relationships, romantic or platonic, if there is any conflicts, seeing if, like, knowing when it's like, I don't want to say knowing when it's worth it to fight, or like to put on the warrior armor, if you will, and when it's like best to just create more space and maybe be in a little bit more stillness and like reflect and think. So to not be reactive. There we go. But yes, and then I put a little note for the overall energy. Like conflict is a test of willpower. So really just seeing like where does your willpower lie? And is it in a place of love within your relationships? And then for the Violet Flame card that came out, this is a card that just talks heavily about like energetic hygiene. So having like practices, so like for the end of the week for that like grounding and centering for the root chakra to come out, just thinking like for overall, how can you maybe do like daily check-ins, or what does it look like to check in with your own energy and have good spiritual hygiene, also physical hygiene, if you will, so that you can be your most optimal. And maybe it's time to cleanse or to purify different things within your life. And especially since there's a new moon this week, this might be a great time to set intention for that. And if you work with the violet flame or not, you can look it up and see if it resonates with you, or if you already work with it or haven't in a while, maybe bringing it back into your practice to allow for this clearing and releasing and purification to take place, to be able to really partner up with this energy of optimism at the beginning of the week, and to allow it to carry you through and to bring forth operating in a space of more confidence this week and honoring your passions. So, with that said, I think that is everything for this upcoming week. I hope that everyone enjoys the week, and you can let me know if you have any additional thoughts or if there's anything that you want to share down below in the comments. But otherwise, be well, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye!